In the future, 95% of the people in these buildings will be unemployed. Why? Because now an AI agent can replace the work of 100 real people. That's how powerful it is. Our company currently has 50 programmers working on the code base. Compared to traditional large companies, that's equivalent to 5,000 people, because each programmer used to direct 100 AIs, writing code every day. Now, we don't need that many people anymore. We simply don't need that many. In the future, we'll only need one chief engineer, someone who understands AI decision-making and command, who will continuously direct the AI to do the work. We used to think that physical labor was easily replaced, but let me tell you, now it's actually mental labor that's more easily replaced. Today is my husband's 59th day of unemployment at a major tech company, still 0 interviews. What's worse is that acquaintances see our videos, talk about us being unemployed in middle age, and then spread the word everywhere. Have we really lost all face? Initially, I just wanted to simply record the reality of being unemployed in middle age. I didn't expect it to spread so widely. Relatives, former colleagues, and friends all saw it. Some people are gossiping behind my back, and some are subtly checking. Others are saying directly, "You used to be so successful and respectable. How do you end up like this? It's so shameful." 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, the unique 996 work system in Chinese companies originated in the country's internet companies. This work system is deeply hated by many young and middle-aged people, but they are powerless to escape it. Now, things are even worse. A large number of programmers are unemployed, and they don't even have the chance to enjoy the 996 lifestyle they despise. In this video, we'll look at one of the worst-off groups currently facing the most challenges: Chinese programmers. As AI coding tools have matured, they have rapidly replaced many programmers' jobs. How many programmers are there in China? According to publicly available data from China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the number of employees in the software and information technology services industry nationwide was 7.047 million at the end of 2020 and 8.09 million in 2021. There is no publicly available data for 2022 and beyond, making it impossible to find. Of course, these 8 million employees don't just include programmers, they also include various functional roles in the software development chain, such as production managers and test engineers. According to GitHub's annual report released in November 2021, China has 7.55 million developers, ranking second globally only after the US. Once this was an inviable industry, the average monthly salary for programmers in China is between $2,200 and $2,700, with higher averages in top cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. For over a decade, China's internet industry has been synonymous with high salaries and high growth. Many believe that joining a major internet company like Tencent, Alibaba, Baidu, and ByteDance is a ticket to the middle class. Consequently, many programmers grit their teeth and endure the grueling 996 work schedule for these companies. The health of middle-aged programmers is increasingly showing signs of decline. In January of this year, Guo Guanhui, a programmer in Guangzhou, passed away suddenly and unexpectedly at the age of 32, sparking a heated discussion on the Chinese internet. During his 7 years at CVTE, his monthly take-home pay rose from $1,700 to $2,800, and he was promoted from a regular employee to a department manager. He got married, bought a condo, and accomplished many major life milestones. Gao sometimes worked until 2 a.m. before returning home. On the day of the incident, he arrived home at 10 p.m. and went to bed at 1 a.m. He fainted suddenly as he left home the next morning. He was rushed to the emergency room at 10 a.m. and pronounced dead at 1 p.m. The company offered no compensation. Gao's wife could only sadly tell the media, "Don't sacrifice your life for work, and once you're gone, all your proud achievements become garbage." Therefore, Chinese programmers face a high-intensity job while simultaneously dealing with rapid technological iteration, demanding high levels of physical fitness and learning ability. Anxiety upon entering the profession is a common phenomenon in the Chinese programming industry. Even on weekends, when they finally have some personal time, these programmers dare not relax. They believe that if they don't read technical posts and papers, they won't have time to keep up with the pace of technological updates. Their daily work is intertwined with life, and all they want to do when they get home is lie in bed and sleep. Compared to young people in other industries, these programmers have very little social interaction. Many realize something is wrong. They are also reflecting, could we choose a different lifestyle? However, the problem is that in China, there aren't many lifestyle options, especially when you have to leave your job. This blogger, 35, was recently laid off by ByteDance along with many of her colleagues. I saw a quote today that said, "What I need now isn't a job, but a format of life to survive." I think that's so true. Because if I were to find another job, let alone whether I, at my age, unmarried and childless, could find a job with the same income, even if I did, in a year or two, I might still face the same situation, leaving voluntarily or involuntarily. Then I really wouldn't be able to find a job anymore. Then I'd drift aimlessly for another 20 years until retirement. Is that the life you want? In the past year and a half, China's 5 major traditional internet giants have laid off more than 130,000 employees. Alibaba was seen as a significant reduction in its total workforce, with recent reports of layoffs of 30 to 40% or more across its business lines, which is flaky. Baidu and JD.com have also implemented downsizing plans, affecting thousands to tens of thousands of employees. For many young people, the once inviolable big company employee badge is gradually losing its allure. Large companies that were once expanding rapidly are now shifting towards cost reduction and efficiency improvement, forced to cut non-core business with uncertain profit prospects, resulting in a continuous decline in employee numbers. For many professionals, the internet industry has gone from being the most promising industry to the most insecure industry. Especially impacted by AI, large tech companies don't need as many junior programmers, and programmer salaries are steadily declining, even for ordinary software engineers from top-tier universities like 985 universities in China. A female programmer with a master's degree from a top-tier 985 project and in her late 20s, unemployed for over 6 months at a major company. Trapped in the harsh winter of job hunting, a monthly mortgage payment of $2,400 plus fixed Social Security contributions weighs like a mountain, making it hard to breathe. This doesn't even include daily expenses like groceries. My savings are already dwindling due to the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck. 27 years old, born in 1998, I was laid off this year. I just received the notification this morning, and the HR talked to me this afternoon. When I first heard the news, my heart sank. I tried to remain calm and talk about my rights, but my mind went completely blank. Isn't a layoff supposed to be a midlife crisis? How come I'm experiencing this at my age? To be honest, I feel like nothing has ever gone smoothly for me. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 2020 and was caught in the pandemic, unable to even return to campus for my graduation ceremony. I graduated with my master's degree in 2022, and finding a job was like finding a needle in a haystack. I finally got a job at a big company, but every day I'm anxious about layoffs and low performance. As long as you keep working, you will definitely be laid off and experience unemployment. This morning on the subway, I saw a post saying that the average age of employees at a certain tech giant is 27.5 years old. Many people in the comments section were saying, "Is this something to be proud of? A company full of young people who have only been in the workforce for a few years, while those in their 30s and 40s, experienced with elderly parents and young children to support, are increasingly unable to find work." Then I found out that the post had been reported and taken down that night. It's really ironic. Young people are not easy either. They're like sugarcane, chewed up and squeezed dry by the company and then spat out. This is my true feeling when I first joined ByteDance at the age of 22. The rise of AI has led to the closure of many software development companies. Some companies, in order to survive, have had to lay off employees and transfer into AI technology application development. Because current AI tools can automatically generate code at a level comparable to that of senior top-tier programmers. What used to be a month-long task for a large team can now be completed by a single person in a week.
今天被裁员了。
I was laid off today, a Peking University master's graduate. I worked at a major internet company for over a year before being laid off. The internet industry is really getting worse every year. Today, I was envious of this high salary of $4,000 to $6,000. Tomorrow, he might be unemployed and have no income. A few days ago, I chatted with a former colleague who used to work at a major internet company. He said there was a wave of layoffs at his company, and he was on the layoff list, but ultimately the one who was the most proactive and worked the most overtime was laid off. My younger brother, a front-end developer, was laid off and has been unemployed for 3 months. He said it's too difficult to find a job in Shanghai this year. March and April are usually the peak season for job hunting. I met up with my younger brother today to ask how his job search was going. My baby also misses his uncle. My brother was a front-end developer and was laid off last December. I was an HR professional and was laid off last June. People have always said we look alike, and now not only do we look alike, but our life experiences are similar. We're both laid off and unemployed. My brother said he's getting very few responses to his front-end development resumes lately, and even when he does, they're all from outsourcing companies. He went for an interview the other day, waited for almost an hour, and the interview only lasted 5 minutes. He felt like he was just being used by HR to reach the KPI. I never thought I'd really have to say goodbye to a place I'd been for 7 years. Yesterday, when I received the email, I knew something was wrong. Everyone was panicking. Then today, at the meeting, they announced massive layoffs and this big package. Everything happened so suddenly, there was nothing I could do. In the internet industry, large companies continue to expand their layoffs, with many companies prioritizing the dismissal of higher-paid senior employees. Some have substantial financial reserves, so they aren't too worried about the layoffs. This blogger is 45 years old this year. After graduating from university, she joined Alibaba, which was her first job. At that time, Alibaba was just a small company with fewer than 1,000 employees. She witnessed almost the entire process of the company's growth from its startup phase to becoming an internet giant. She worked there for a full 22 years, and ultimately she was laid off. In the 22 years on this aircraft carrier, I was incredibly lucky. I married a handsome husband who graduated from Fudan University, and I sent my daughter to one of the best international schools in Shanghai. Thanks to steadily increasing salaries and bonuses, I also settled down in both Hangzhou and Shanghai. On this seemingly unsinkable ship that leads to financial freedom and a happy life, I never expected to reach my final destination, disembarkation. The moment the layoff scythe fell, I was very calm, even somewhat relieved. Actually, I'd known for the past 2 years that this day would be coming soon. This blogger was formerly the design director of Gaudi Maps. After losing his job, he began considering moving to a smaller city with a lower cost of living. He admitted that although he hadn't earned a lot of money, his savings over the years were enough to maintain his daily subsistence. My current lifestyle is the kind of enjoyable lifestyle that an ordinary person can aspire to. I'm currently renting, but my Beijing lease is about to expire, and I plan to move to a smaller city. This way, I feel more at ease living here. No loans, not much savings. It's nothing to brag about online, nothing compared to those people who claim to have tens of millions, but it's enough to cover living expenses. More often, it's those who weren't prepared. After all, 35 isn't the retirement age many expected. Many also didn't foresee the rapid development of AI. Programmers used to have high-paying jobs, earning hundreds of thousands to millions of RMB annually. Many people's life plans were based on this premise. They got married, raised 1 or 2 or more children, and took on huge mortgages. They precisely stepped into several major traps that will lead the middle class back to poverty. Programmers over 35 face difficulty finding jobs after losing their jobs. There are basically no suitable opportunities. With high costs for children's education and continuously falling housing prices, they are facing an unprecedented crisis. I was laid off by Kuaishou. They laid off a lot of people this time. 2 large departments are gone. I've been with Kuaishou for 4.5 years, working in live stream operations. Throughout 2024, people left every month, and this time it was finally my turn. I often complain to my husband that I don't like this life and want to quit, but I haven't been able to make up my mind. Because I still have nearly $300,000 in mortgage payments and a 5-year-old child to raise. After finishing my procedure, I went to pick up my daughter from kindergarten, and I saw her cheering and jumping for joy from afar. I'm 35 years old this year. If I find another job, I'll likely be laid off again soon, and I'll still miss out on my kids' growth. Being unemployed twice within 6 months is truly a mixed bag of emotions. Looking back, I first experienced layoffs and unemployment last December. This February, I finally found a new job, thinking I could finally settle down. Unexpectedly, after only 4 months, I've stopped again. Let me share my experience. I previously worked at a large internet company for a full 15 years and 8 months, and I was long accustomed to the stable rhythm of the workplace. The blogger said that this year she joined a startup in Beijing, hoping to try a new career opportunity, but ultimately chose to leave. She lives in Tianjin and commutes to Beijing every day, spending more than 5 hours commuting. She calculated that her daily transportation costs are nearly $30. Add to that the pressure of middle age, children to care for, and a fixed monthly mortgage payment, and the pressure was immense. She really wanted to stay with the company through the crisis, but she knew her current financial situation didn't allow her to continue suffering with the company. After much deliberation, she ultimately decided to leave. At this point in the program, you might be wondering, China has over 7 million software engineers, while the US has approximately 4.4 million. Overtime work is generally severe for Chinese programmers, while overtime and excessive workloads also exist in the US, but are not widespread. Why can't China's 996 work schedule compete with the US's 955 schedule? Why are so many hardworking Chinese programmers now struggling to keep their jobs? Why does every industry seem so peculiar in China? This question touches upon the fundamental nature of the CCP system. Watch this video. Hello, sir. May I ask you a question? Go ahead. Can you describe the life of an ordinary person in one sentence? The life of an ordinary person. In prosperous times, they are the cows and horses. In chaotic times, they are just cannon fodder. On June 15th of this year, the hashtag "The Life of an Ordinary Person" trended on Weibo in China. Many people were deeply moved and expressed their feelings. The complete version of this description of the life of an ordinary Chinese person is: in prosperous times, they are the cows and horses. In chaotic times, they are just cannon fodder. Their strength is exploited in times of peace. Their bodies are used in times of war. Do not speak of titles and honors, for one general's success is built on the bones of 10,000. Peace is created by numerous heroes, yet none of those heroes is given the right to enjoy peace. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.